What does it mean to tell, or rather sing your story, through a voice that is not your own? Music made with the voice banks of Kasane Teto, Hatsune Miku, or Gumi, among others, often lacks the physical voices of their creators. Yet, these songs still express the life experiences, thoughts, and vivid emotions of their producers in ways dissimilar to traditional music forms. Over the course of this video, I will discuss the creative potentialities of using a voice that is not one's own to convey personal experiences. To do so, I will focus on 3 producers: WeevilDoing, MonochroMenace, and Wowaka, all of which have expressed their lives and emotions through vocal synth. Alright, now let us begin. Many producers utilize vocal synths to express their own personal experiences. By adopting a voice that is not their own, producers gain a sense of freedom to explore abstract, fragmented, or even traumatic aspects of their own lives. In a way, the use of vocal synths serves as an emotional buffer, allowing musicians to share their work without the vulnerability of performing it directly. That is not to say that vocal synth producers are not being vulnerable. On the contrary, vocal synth, in many cases, is what allows one to express profoundly personal and painful lyrics. Rather than hiding or muting intense emotions, it amplifies them. The adopted voice acts as a vessel for the author's catharsis, allowing for lucid expression and nurturing an honesty rarely found in other types of music. This is best described by Vocaloid producer Nagareyama Red Eye in an interview with Bandcamp. Vocaloid's greatest strength is that it does not require a human to sing. I personally find it easy to skip all the circumstances such as not being attracted to my own voice, or the lyrics being too personal to entrust to someone else, and just create the song I want to create. Our first case study and the inspiration for this video, the Post-Traumatic Manifesto by WeevilDoing, encapsulates the idea of a producer using vocal synths to express intensely personal emotions and experiences. In the 10-track concept album, WeevilDoing utilizes 10 distinct vocal synths, or girls, to embody different emotional struggles and personalities. In order, the names are as follows: Disposable Girl, Irreverent Girl, Splitter Girl, Finiant Girl, Caliber Girl, Chocolate Box Girl, Taxidermy Girl, Chemical Girl, and Refraction Girl. Each girl is being treated by Xiaomara Huapaya, or Nurse Parallel. As WeevilDoing puts it, each eponymous song uncovers characters and stories that are extensions of themselves in some way. Disposable Girl discusses body dysmorphia, sexual harassment, and internalized misogyny. Irreverent Girl discusses religious trauma and organized religion. Splitter Girl discusses violent thoughts, self-harm, and suicide ideation. Finiant Girl discusses internal and external ableism, self-hatred, and illness. Caliber Girl discusses overworking and disordered eating. Chocolate Box Girl discusses pedophilia, grooming, and sexual abuse. Taxidermy Girl discusses bioessentialism, sexual and female generational trauma, and abnormal sexual development. Chemical Girl discusses emotional dysregulation, mood swings, and radiation sickness. And Refraction Girl discusses suicide ideation and depression. Interwoven throughout the narrative, WeevilDoing inserts a spoken word intro, interlude, and outro, which replicate private conversations shared between a patient and their psychiatrist, using their physical voice. As mentioned before, WeevilDoing reveals that the album is inspired by their own experiences, with the goal of bringing themselves some catharsis through compartmentalizing concepts such as trauma, femininity, and the pains that come with both. In an interview with Akuko, WeevilDoing shared that as a teenager they found themselves drawn to the Vocaloid scene, gripped by the vivid and raw emotions and thoughts expressed by producers. Soon after, they found themselves producing songs, conveying emotions they felt like they couldn't express in any other way. Echoing our earlier discussion of vocal synths acting as an emotional buffer, WeevilDoing describes their use of them as a shield to hide behind when expressing their emotions, adding that instead of it being them directly saying the words, it's coming out of someone else's mouth, so it feels less personal. By creating the Post-Traumatic Manifesto, WeevilDoing described having to confront loose emotional ends they didn't realize were still there, comparing the creation of each song to the pain of stitching up a wound. By using a voice that was not their own and enduring each individual stab of the needle, they describe being able to process their lingering emotions. WeevilDoing's experiences demonstrate this remarkable power that vocal synths have in providing a safe space for radical expression, where one could lay their emotions bare but paradoxically remain shielded. It is in this radical expression of emotion where others can feel solace knowing that they are not alone. As WeevilDoing expresses, "Every time I posted one of these songs, I was so worried that it would be interpreted the wrong way, and that people would be offended over things that are very personal to me. But almost everyone who's talked to me about my music has been incredibly kind about it. I think it very much pays to be honest and open about struggles you think you're alone in, or that you feel that no one will understand, because inevitably there will be at least one other person who gets it, and is thankful you said something." Quick subscriber break. If you like videos like this and would like to see more in the future, consider subscribing. Alright, now back to the video. Our second case study, the songs Regret Rock, Minimum Rage, and Lost Media by MonochroMenace, work well to uncover vocal synth's potentialities in creating autobiographical work. Unlike the work of WeevilDoing, MonochroMenace uses the likeness of Kasane Teto and Gumi to represent herself. This carries interesting implications as the experience is now owned by the vocal synth rather than the producer. For instance, in Minimum Rage, Teto is the one with the 9-to-5 job, not Menace. The song becomes a Teto song. To speak more about the individual songs, Regret Rock and Minimum Rage, both convey Menace's experiences through a purple-haired Teto. In Regret Rock, the song began from Menace's experiences of repeated hair dyeing to the point of coming out in clumps. While each lyric is not a one-to-one reflection of actual incidents, it still maintains its origin in life's silly regrets. The next song, Minimum Rage, continues the saga of Purple Teto, as she works a fast food job and experiences the associated stresses of working in a customer service position. Menace has wrote that this song is about her experiences as a manager at McDonald's. "I was a manager very young during the height of the pandemic as well. I've had drinks thrown at me, I still have oil burns on my arms to this day, and more nonsense. I figured a lot of people would be able to relate to working a job that totally does not appreciate your efforts, and finally letting go of the pressure." To reference an earlier point, it is interesting to note that this song became a Teto song. By using a familiar face, the song becomes increasingly relatable. Just as vocal synths act as a vessel for the author, they also act as a vessel for the audience. The story becomes more personal to the audience as they see a character struggling with something that they themselves have experienced. I can note this firsthand as I play this song on loop coupled with 9-to-5 to vent my own frustrations with working retail. In that regard, the personal, cathartic story that the author shares becomes the audience's as well. Continuing on, Lost Media, the third song, is far more personal than both Regret Rock and Minimum Rage. Menace describes it as a self-indulgent song, or a song that she wrote for herself. Singing through Gumi, the song tackles personal themes such as depression, self-doubt, and failure. The pinned comment by Simply Crispy analyzes the song best, stating it as conveying the strong internalized desire to become Lost Media out of self-loathing and a feeling of failure in the areas of your life that others succeed in. Referencing this intensely personal message of the song, Menace mentions that writing the song has healed her because she was able to understand negative feelings and grow from it. This speaks to the specific power music has in letting one express their own emotions. In particular, vocal synth music allows one to articulate themselves in ways their voice simply cannot convey. Our third and final case study, the song Unknown Mother Goose by Wowaka, offers another view of using a voice that is not one's own. This is due to the artist's complicated relationship with the software and wider community. In an interview with Natalie MU and later a Twitter post, Wowaka shared that his rise in the Vocaloid community left him feeling as if his personal voice had been lost. Instead of finding a voice in Vocaloid, his own voice became distant. As people only focused on the superficial aspects of Wowaka, such as the aesthetics of his music, he felt as if his identity was being stripped away. Using a voice that was not his own here prevented his identity to be conveyed within his songs. He expressed that after releasing Unhappy Refrain, He thought maybe singing with his own fleshy body is the only way he could save himself. He later started the band Hitori and distanced himself from the Vocaloid scene. I specifically point out Unknown Mother Goose because it is performed by both Hatsune Miku and Wowaka himself, but in contrasting roles. In the original Vocaloid version of the song, Miku sings lead while Wowaka provides backing vocals. In contrast, in the Hitori version of the song, this dynamic reverses, having Wowaka take the lead while Miku's voice is heard in the background. This reversal illustrates the personal experiences that Wowaka lived through during his time in the Vocaloid community. It converges his physical voice with the adopted voice, bridging his life as the lead singer of Hitori and his identity as the producer Wowaka. The song, he states, is the first time he'd ever put his words so directly through Miku, using it as an opportunity to say everything he could about the past, present, and future, almost to the point of being embarrassed. By using his voice and the voice that wasn't his own, he created a harmony of vulnerability and raw feelings. In the same post, he states that Miku is what allowed him to express himself, and that this song was made for purely personal reasons. Hello, Brett here. Before I start my conclusion, I want to mention that this video has undergone significant revision over the past 4 months, and delayed for personal reasons. While the original scope of the video was much larger than the current one, I might revisit those topics in the future should this video prove the desire for it. Vocal synths offer artists a uniquely honest and personal way to express their own experiences and emotions, distinguishing it from other forms of music. Singing with a voice that is not one's own transforms how both the artist and the audiences interpret those experiences, creating a space for healing, self-reconciliation, and profound self-understanding. If you want to see videos like this in the future, consider subscribing. It goes a long way in terms of supporting the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.